Sagittarius, welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. This is a 5-card tarot card reading, energy reading, overall energy reading for November 1st through November 15th of 2020. It is a general reading for the larger collective of Sagittarians and is intended for informational purposes. The information may not resonate with every Sagittarian, so that's perfectly okay. Please take what fits and let the rest go. To save time, I've already shuffled the cards and requested a universal guidance. And the cards that were selected were ejected during the shuffle are listed right here. The first card here, Sagittarians, represents your past influences, the major significant energy in the past few months. In some cases, that energy may have resolved itself. In other cases, it could still be lingering. The second card here represents your present energy during this time period of things that you presently are experiencing, or the collective. The third card here represents the energy for any future energies that are pertaining or are on the horizon during this time period. The fourth card here represents energy challenges, things that could come up, and keep in mind that the challenges are not implied to be negative. Sometimes they're just things to be aware of, and most often they present choices that you can make based on your own free will. And the fifth card here represents your outcome energies for this time period. So, okay, we have the Justice card here. This is a major arcana card for you, and we're going to ask the angels and spirit guides to help us understand why the Justice is here in your present energy, or I'm sorry, in your past influence energies. Angels and spirit guides, please help us understand for Sagittarians why the Justice card is in their past influences during this time reading, please. Okay. Well, Sagittarians, we know the Justice card typically represents justice. It's about truth, the law, fairness. I'm picking up that this is being in your Sagittarians' past influences, because for many Sagittarians, you were called to be accountable to your actions, and it's about being judged accordingly in some way. Many of you have acted in alignment with your higher self in your greater good, and for those Sagittarians that did, you have nothing to worry about. However, there are some Sagittarians who have not acted in their best alignment, or perhaps in their greater good, and they will be called out and or were called out and made to sort of hold their own actions. And in many ways, this is the universe shaking you sort of in your boots, Sagittarians. Note that the Justice card doesn't see things black and white as we often think. Yes, there's a level of compassion and understanding with Justice, but as many of you probably already felt to some degree, if there's something that you regret or suggest that you perhaps were not treated fairly and without bias, be ready to take responsibility for your actions. And this is about standing accountable for any sort of consequences. For Sagittarians, if you were seeking justice during these past few months, this was a positive sign for you. And it's a message that indeed justice will be served. The universe will take care of you. This could be, in most cases, a part of some sort of legal case that's pending a final judgment from the courts or a governing body or institution. Keep in mind that once that decision is made, you have to accept it and move on. There's no retrials or second chances with an upright Justice card. I'm picking up this also appears when for some Sagittarians because you have an important choice that you needed to make. And the choice that you made was more specific around some sort of long-term repercussions. This was a message for Sagittarians in your past influences that you were encouraged to pay important, or you were encouraged to pay. I can speak. You were encouraged to pay importance to the decisions that you were going to make. This is about those decisions. Those decisions were about choosing consciously and importing and encouraging you to connect with your inner guidance system and your intuition. And it was encouraging you to get in alignment with your highest good and to be ready to stand for your decisions, as you will be held accountable for the choices that you were making, Sagittarians. And many of you Sagittarians were sort of asked the question, and this could be anything that you had some sort of major decision with, do I stand by my decisions and accept those consequences? If you're not able to, or perhaps if you were not able to, you had an option to dig deeper and sort of, dig out what was really going on with you and what was the right way and what was perhaps the better way. This is a calling upon Sagittarians to use your integrity and your inner strength. In addition, I pick up that many Sagittarians were also searching for something about truth, some sort of truth. Sagittarians, you were wanting to explore the truth of some sort of issue, and you were wanting to discover things perhaps that weren't as clear-cut as you may have thought. Many of you were sort of doing some sort of minor investigation or researching. At the same time, you were finding that whatever this you might have been searching for, it was challenging what your past beliefs were, or things that you thought to be true. And they could have been around things that were fair or ethical. And what I think most of you sort of realize is that often things aren't as clear-cut as we think. And you may have been presented with some sort of challenge, particularly within yourself, to explore or modify or consider a new belief system. In your present energy during this time period, we have the Prince of Swords. Keep in mind, in other tarot cards are known as, sorry, there's a glare there, folks. There's the Page of Swords, but in this tarot cards they call it the Prince or Princess. Angel and Spirit Guides, please help us understand for our Sagittarians why the Page of Swords or Prince of Swords is here in their present energy, please. Well, we know through tarot cards that the Page of Swords or Prince of Swords is basically represents energy, enthusiasm, things that we're passionate about. I'm picking up this is showing up in your present energy, Sagittarians, because some of you are on the verge of bursts or with new ideas, and you're wanting to make plans for your future. I'm picking up there's a lot of excitement about starting some sort of new projects. Or you're wanting to approach something in a different way, or perhaps you're wanting to learn something new or different. Whatever it is, Sagittarians, you're experiencing a lot of energy, and it's good. It's a positive energy. Your challenge in this present energy reading here, though, is whether you can keep up the demand. Keep in mind that all pages or princes on the tarot decks, they are about beginnings, and they always look promising. And they're sort of a sign of encouragement. But in order to bring things forward, you have to keep up with the pace. It's going to be up to you to do the follow through. I'm also picking up that many Sagittarians, you're sort of exploring new ways of thinking, and this could be a new technique, some sort of new knowledge or a new idea or a new perspective. It's about a fresh way of thinking, and perhaps even, allowing your curious mind to think about things that you normally wouldn't have time to think about. I'm picking up those thoughts are really more an exploratory phase for you, and not about mastering sort of the thought or the idea. But really, this is really about a sense of curiosity for you, Sagittarians. Also keep in mind that in the swords cards are about communication, and with the page here being in your present energy, this is suggesting that many Sagittarians need to be paying attention to communication, and you may be looking at different ways to express yourself, particularly if your communication and ideas and opinions may not have reached the audience that you wanted to, or may have been misinterpreted. You could be looking at different ways to communicate, and this could be part of your hobby or a new project. For instance, it could be a book, a blog, a podcast, journal, social media. Um, uh, Sagittarians, many of you are already natural communicators, but what you're wanting to do is sort of take it to the next step. And some of you are wanting to sort of in this exploratory phase, perhaps, find a new way of expressing yourself, and, looking at a new way, or it could be a new job opportunity or a new side job or something, but you're just wanting to find new ways to explore. And this sort of ties into your project here. In your future energies, we have the Five of Wands here. Angels and Spirit Guides, please help us understand for our Sagittarians why the Five of Wands here is in their present or in their future energy, please. The Five of Wands for Sagittarians and their future energy, please. Hmm. Well, the number 5 in tarot cards typically sort of represents an energy of conflict and an energy of some sort of change. The Five of Wands is going to sort of honor that. I'm picking up that for Sagittarians during this time frame, that some of you may be in the middle or already in process of some sort of tension. It could be an argument, or it could be some sort of needing to prove yourself with another person. And this sort of tension could be blocking you from things that you're wanting to move on or move forward on your interpersonal goals. I'm picking up that so far you're not able to find a happy ground, and that what you're experiencing is basically just opposition. What usually happens here, Sagittarians, is with the Five of Wands, this usually is indicative that everybody involved is wanting to be heard, and the bottom line is that no one's listening, including you, Sagittarians. We know everybody has a different sort of opinions, but no one's stopping to hear each other out, and thus what happens is conflict or misunderstandings tend to run rampant. And Sagittarians, you're finding the situation to be dragging and sort of adding to chaos and disorder. What you're encouraged to do during this for Sagittarians is take a moment and listen to what others are saying. This is calling upon you, Sagittarians, to pause and allow others to be heard, even if you disagree. The key here is to tune into each other so that everybody has an opportunity to be heard. And this is about appreciating diversity. And in that process, Sagittarians, what you're going to find is that by listening to other people's opinions, you're going to learn something, probably something that you didn't know. And this could basically add to whatever your viewpoint of what you're trying to get across. So the key is to tune into other people and allow other persons to make their case. And in turn, I'm picking up that you'll gain respect by doing that, Sagittarians. So just a pause. I'm also picking up where there's a conflict in discussions is, we know discussions and conflict can be productive. And it's also for some Sagittarians, if this is occurring, you're going to be encouraged to be a part of a group with this, and understanding that group problem solving can be very beneficial, and it's very constructive. And although you may want to do it on your own because you think you can get it done faster, but this is where the universe is sort of testing you and your patience, and is going to challenge you to listen to others, because in the end you'll find some sort of improvement. And in the end, the universe is going to tell you that you're going to benefit from establishing a working group. This could be a working group, a committee, a consulting group, anything, any individuals that are somewhat involved in whatever you're wanting to work on. And this could be a personal issue or family issue or even a work issue. But it's picking up that you don't have to make the decision by yourself, and that you will do better if you involve others. Sagittarians, the 501s also, well, it encourages diversity in differences of opinion. So this is about communication. It's asking you to sort of be patient and to understand different cultures or backgrounds, even the choices that they make. It's understanding, or it's being mindful, I should say, that, every person has something unique to bring to the table, including you. And this is a lesson for you, Sagittarians, to sort of be patient and to allow them to be involved. The Five of Wands here is encouraging you, Sagittarians, that, you can make changes and make decisions and still be enthusiastic. However, it's about bringing people together and not doing it on your own. And it's also sort of sending you the message that although it may be challenging, but it can be done constructively and positively. Um, so it's understanding that everybody has ideas, and that if everyone's allowed to bring them to the table into a logical sort of path forward, that your role may be basically identifying a clear strategy for those people and the purpose, and in order to implement whatever you're trying to do. In our challenges, we have the Ten of Wands here. Angel and Spirit guides, please help us understand for our Sagittarians why the Ten of Wands is in their challenges during this time frame, please. Well, much like you had here in your future energies during this time frame, the Ten of Wands here is indicative that Sagittarians, some of you are feeling an extra burden. You're feeling that you have a greater responsibility. And whatever this is it's weighing you down, and it perhaps is making things even tougher for you. I think, Sagittarians, you have an understanding this is a temporary sort of overburden, and some of you are willing to put in that extra work and hope to accomplish and reap the rewards for later. In that case, if you have a family, you're putting in extra hours and you're realizing that you're taking away from your family, but you're hoping that it'll pay off. Or, it's affecting your friendships. You're spending more time at work and you're neglecting your friends or missing occasions. Some of you may be caring for a sick family member, which is sort of taking you over your time of your own responsibilities. But again, you're doing that favor, and you're seeing there's a need. So I'll go. There is appreciation for this extra burden that you are providing, and it is appreciative. However, sometimes the Ten of Wands here appears, for you as a challenge here, because in some cases, Sagittarians, it's asking you to look at, is this an unconscious extra responsibility, and perhaps are you finding yourself being weighed down, even perhaps on the verge of exhaustion and burnout? Are you trying to do everything at once, even though it's adding extra pressure in your daily life? Sagittarians, in this case, the Ten of Wands is asking you to stop and examine your current lifestyle and your work life situation. It's asking you to sort of evaluate your, sort of your activities of daily living, your leisure time and your work time and your time management. It's asking you to prioritize, and it's also asking you to determine where it's best for you to spend your time, and which tasks can you drop or can you let go or give to somebody else or put on the back burner. So in this case, your challenge here, Sagittarians, is for you to identify and define a higher efficiency way of doing things that can free yourself up, so that it still allows you to have some rest and relaxation, because that's important. And that's the universe's way of asking you to be mindful and take pause. Keep in mind, Sagittarians, that typically the tens represent a completion of a cycle, and the Ten of Wands, is basically sending you a message that there is an end in sight. Even though some of you may have been pushing yourself to your limits and you're working very hard, this is letting you know that those final steps are around the corner, and that you're going to complete whatever you were trying to complete. And yes, some of you may collapse out of exhaustion, but you will get there, and please know that it would be worth it. However, the universe is basically saying you don't have to work yourself to exhaustion. For some Sagittarians, I'm also picking up the Ten of Wands here is showing that even with the achievement of this goal or something that you're working on, there's significant responsibilities and commitments are also going to come with it. And as you sort of reach this point of completion of whatever you're working on, now you have the reality of how do you maintain it and sustain it. And that's the surefire way to determine if this is going to be a success. The challenge that you have here is, do you accept these responsibilities, and are they going to be too much for you to bear, and or are you controlling them and struggling to let them go? So it's kind of like you're marketing your business, but then all of a sudden you got all the business in the world, and now you can't keep up with it. So it's that catch-22. This is about inspiration and creativity, that you are being blessed with on this creative idea. But it's going to ask you here basically to make sure that you have a strategic plan of how to balance that. That's critical. And this could be whether you're volunteering for a school project, committee, or a work project, or anything. Find balance. And again, you don't have to do everything yourself. Get the opinions of other people, get groups, get other ideas, and you'll achieve your goal and sustain it better. Finally, in our outcomes, I have 3 wands here. We have the 9 of wands here. Angel and spirit guides, please help us understand for our Sagittarians why the 9 of wands here is in their energy reading, please, during this time frame. The 9 of wands for our Sagittarians. Okay. Well, we know that typically this represents sort of resilience and courage. It's about persistence. It's about making sure that you have boundaries set. I'm picking up here that in your outcomes, the 9 of Wands here is showing up for Sagittarians because it's indicating that even some of you may have been facing some sort of adversity or some sort of challenges, that you were able to stand tall and strong. Some of you may have reached your completion of your whatever your projects, but you're exhausted. But you were resilient, and you were persistent, and you were ready to do what it took to get to that goal. In this case, Sagittarians, I'm picking up that, yeah, even though you might be battered and bruised and exhausted, and you many of you probably experienced significant challenges and struggles. And often when you were thinking you were making progress, you were hit with another setback. The 9 of Wands here is asking you, Sagittarians, in this outcome, is to trust that this is merely a test of your grit and resilience. And it's about trusting your intuition that every time you are presented these sort of setbacks and obstacles, you're getting stronger, and it's about a learning process, and not to ignore them and not to put them off, because it makes you stronger. The 9 here is seen as an assurance that eventually you will prosper and maintain your position. So if you don't succeed, or you didn't succeed, it's definitely, the universe says, try again. The 9 of Wands here, Sagittarians, also encourages you to keep pushing, that you're going to reach your goal that you want to attain. And it's encouraging not to give up, even if you're feeling challenged. And this is about standing firm in your struggles. Keep in mind that others may oppose you. Others can possibly make things difficult for you, even attack you. And this could be whether you're working on a family project, and perhaps others have other family members that are wanting to stop you. On a more positive note, I'm also picking up that many Sagittarians, you have people who are supporting you. So if you're feeling that you have no support, this is the universe's way of saying they are actually there. You do have to look for them. You have cheerleaders, and you have people that perhaps are on the sidelines, but you're not opening your eyes to looking for them. And perhaps you feel they're not around, but they're there. There are many people who are supporting your cause. You may have to identify and reach out to them, and that's important. Finally, I'm picking up here Sagittarians, that the Nine of Wands is sending a message here in this time frame about setting and being mindful of boundaries, and to protect what's yours in an appropriate way. For some of you, if you're finding others, you're reaching some sort of opposition, or people are encroaching and sort of zapping your energy, or sort of sabotaging what you're trying to do, whether it's a busybody friend, or a coworker who's gossiping, or family member who's just pissed, or a work project. This is about establishing appropriate boundaries to protect not only what you're working on, your interests, but also your energy. So, it's about understanding the situation. It's not about jumping to conclusions, but it's getting the full information, and then, nipping in the bud as things are coming forward. Communicating. It's about communicating and not ignoring. Also, some Sagittarians, you may be meeting barriers that are preventing others from getting close to helping you. So this is about sort of making an unconscious awareness about how you can proactively use boundaries to protect your energy. However, you don't want to stop people from trying to help you. It's finding that balance. So, Sagittarians, thank you very much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. If you would like to support this channel, please understand, I know you hear it at times, is the YouTube algorithms are critical for supporting channels and promoting them. They're what I call clicking on the big three, which is please click on the like video, click on the subscribe to my channel, and click onto the notification button. If you already have, thank you very much. If you haven't, I please request that you would. You're not going to see a lot of things in your YouTube account. You're not going to get bombarded with emails or spam or anything else. You might see a little number that pops up in your corner, but they're really about YouTube algorithms, because YouTube uses those in how they promote channels to a wider audience. And I'm a new channel, so I need promoted, and I'll just say it, and would appreciate if you feel up to it, your support by doing those three things and sharing the video if you like. So I just appreciate it, and your consideration. Sagittarians, please feel free to leave a comment if you felt that any part of this reading was applicable to you. And again, if it didn't resonate with you, it's totally okay. This is a general sign for the larger collective. If take what fits and let the rest go. And I hope that you Sagittarians have a wonderful November, and we will see you in the last 2 weeks. Enjoy.